So I'm back in the gym with another update on my prep for my first powerlifting meet. And this was last Thursday. This is me deadlifting, and this is me figuring out what I'm gonna do for my last attempt, or at least getting an idea. So in this workout here, I think after my sets of 225, I think I might have did 2 or 3 reps here. I just did singles up until 415, and that's where I ended up, and that's actually a PR for me. My calculated 1 rep max from a set of 315 for 9 I did, I think a few weeks ago or maybe a couple months ago, was 405. So I thought that's all I can do, but 405 went up really easy, as you'll see in a little bit. So I decided to try 415, and even that felt easy. It really felt just like 405. So I'm actually going to try for probably somewhere in the 420s for the meet and see what I can do with that. So I figured that out, so that's good. So this week deadlifting, I'm gonna probably do sets of triples with a lighter weight, with the weight that I'll probably do my second attempt with, and stuff like that. So things have been going pretty good with the prep for the meet. I still have to buy a singlet, and I'm really bad at making decisions when it comes to certain things, and the singlet is one of them. So if you guys have any suggestions for a cheap singlet that's good, I don't want to pay $50 for a singlet, which is why I think I'm gonna get a wrestling singlet and just use that. It's probably not as good as one actually designed for powerlifting, but at the same time, I don't want to spend a lot of money on a singlet. So that's that. So here's my set of 385, and this one was actually harder for me, I think, than 405, which is weird, but it just felt harder. I don't know, 405 felt good, 415 felt good too, so I'm really happy about that. My deadlift is going well, and it'll probably obviously will be the best lift out of the 3. Some other clips I'll have in this video, you're gonna see my squat session from this Monday, and then my bench session from yesterday. So with the squat session you'll see coming up, I basically did the same thing. I tested to see what is the most weight I can do, what's my new 1 rep max, and it was a lot lower than I thought, but you'll see that later. And then with the bench, I last week Tuesday I actually did this kind of thing already. I already tested what my 1 rep max was, but it was like at 12 a.m. and I felt like crap, and I could only put up 235, which is I've done before. Like I think 3 weeks ago I done 235, so I feel like my max should be over. So I'm gonna go for 240 for my 3rd attempt, depending on how I feel. And I'm really hoping I can get that on bench. But I worked with 225 in the bench session that you'll see in this video. So with a lot of these clips, I left them kind of raw. Usually in clips I'll sort of cut down the first part, like my setup, but I wanted to just leave everything in and show you guys really how, like, from the point when I approach the bar to the end of the set, how I do it. So like usually this part I sort of cut out, but what I'm trying to do is make sure the bar is in the middle of my feet. With these sumos, I'm thinking, okay, making sure my knees are spread out enough, making sure the bar is in the middle of my feet, making sure my hips are at the right height, trying to get close to the bar, really just trying to make it all as efficient as possible. And you can see that I almost fell backwards. I'm thinking about relaxing my shoulder blades to a degree to decrease the range of motion a little bit, putting the bar more on my fingertips than the palm of my hands. And that's what I think about really every time I step up to the bar. When it comes to deadlifts, sumo or regular, I go through different cues in my head to try to make the lift as efficient as possible. So here's the squat session from Monday's 185. As you can see, I have different knee sleeves on than usual. If you notice, these are not hook grip. Usually I wear hook grip knee sleeves, and I'm gonna put a review of those up hopefully sometime this week or next week, and I'm gonna dub those as my deadlifting knee sleeves because they feel really great and warm, but there's not a lot of support. Meanwhile, you have these are Rock Tape kneecaps is what they're called, but they're the knee sleeves that Rock Tape makes, which is more of a powerlifting brand, but they are 7 millimeters deep, thick, just like the Titan knee sleeves are, just like the Reband knee sleeves are, but they are a little longer. So they're not as long as the SBDs, but they're not as short as the Ray-Bans. They're in between, and they're not very difficult to get on. So it's a pretty great length. They're IPF approved and everything. So I was actually surprised how well they worked. Going from the other knee sleeves to these, it felt like a huge difference. But talking about it a few days later, my knees actually feel a lot better than they usually do. So I'll go more over that when I review the Rock Tapes in a different video. But here's my top set, 275, and I'm surprised how slow that went. Like, I actually didn't think I was going to come up. So my knees, took me back quite a bit on my squats. My squat should be over 315 for sure, but that's okay. Just building it back up. Went ahead and did front squats again this week for a set of 5. I think we did 2 sets of 5. Front squats are hard, man. Like, I really have to think elbows up, elbows up, elbows up, chest up, like the whole time. So I'm gonna keep working on these. I'm able to go deeper on front squats, sort of bring the stance in a little bit, and I think it's a good movement for the quads to do after back squat. So here's the bench work I did yesterday, and I did it in the squat rack today, and it actually turned out really well. I didn't have a training partner, so I put the pins at a height that was perfect. Usually the benches that are here, the pins, like, there's no pins. I don't know how to describe it, but if you look at other videos, it's like a preset place for the bar to go, and it's too short for me because my arms are too long. So I went ahead and went in the squat rack, set the pins up to the perfect height, so I just bring the bar out, and everything felt good. During the bench, I'm thinking of keeping everything as tight as possible in my upper back, just like squeezing everything hard. And then I was working on making sure I use leg drive and not having like the dancing feet I had before. Utilizing that leg drive and really just utilizing every muscle in my body that I can to get the weight up. So this is 225. I did 225 for 3 sets of 2, and I've never done 225 for 2 before. So it was good. Once I got it the first time, I knew I could do it a few more times. So I went ahead and did this. So I'm probably going to do 225 for... I'm trying to think if my first attempt should be 205 or my second attempt should be 225. But my first attempt should be 225 on my second attempt should be 225. My goodness, I can't speak. I'm thinking, I guess it depends on how I feel, but I'm thinking it should be my first. But then I won't have a lot of room to go up, so maybe it should be my second, and then my third should be 240, or somewhere around 240. We'll see. But yeah, these went well, and this will be the last clip of the video. I hope you guys, or I hope some people enjoy these type of videos of my training, updating you guys about what's happening for the meet. I know they're not as popular as the day of eating vids, but they're my favorite type of videos to make, to track my progress and just sort of share with you guys how everything is going in the gym. So thanks for watching. Here's the final set of 225 for 2. You'll see how slow the second one is, but I got it up. Never doubted that it would go up, which is a good feeling. So benching is going decently. I'm going to switch programs, I think, for sure. I want to get into a program where I can lift more heavier weights for bench. If you guys have any program suggestions specifically for bench that will help, let me know. Something that maybe I can draw from and switch things up. So that's it. If you want to watch my previous Journey to the 1,000 Pound Club episode, click to the left, and my latest full day of eating video is to the right. See y'all later.